Salutations to all our future judges. In this video, we are going to see the Code of Civil Procedure 1908, Part 16, Sections 74 to 81. If you have not seen the earlier part, that is Part 15, I am providing the link in the iCard. You can click that and watch Part 15. And if you want to see the entire playlist, I am providing the link of the playlist in the description box. You can watch the entire playlist by clicking on that description link. By clicking on the link in the description. Section 74. Resistance to execution. If I am holder of a degree and I am trying to execute the degree, the judgment debtor or any other person on his behalf is resisting the execution of the decree without any just cause. That is the most important point in this section. So the simple point is, if there is a just cause, then the judgment debtor or any other person on his behalf can resist the execution, but it cannot be without any just cause. The next important point in this particular section is that if any person or the judgment debtor is resisting the execution of a decree, in that case the person can be detained in the civil prison, and the very important point is he can be detained to a period of 30 days, which may extend to 30 days. And in addition to this, what can be done is that the decree holder or the purchaser can be put into possession of the property. Let us move to Part 3, Incidental Proceedings, Commissions, Section 75. Power of court to issue commissions. When the court can issue commission. This is also a very important section. They can ask questions in preliminary exam from this particular section. Let us try to understand this one by one. The first point is, if there is any person who should be examined, in that case the court will appoint a commissioner. The court will say to that commission, please go and examine that person. That person may have some inability or may not be in a position to come to the court. In that case, the court will issue a commission and send this person to examine that particular person. The next is local investigation. In some cases, what the court will do is the court will direct some person to go to that particular locality and investigate certain things and submit its report to the court. The third point is to examine or adjust accounts. If there are some accounts which needs to be checked, the court can appoint a person who is generally called as a commissioner, and this commissioner will go there and check the accounts. The next point, which is point D, is to make a partition. Generally, in case of partition suit, there may be buildings, there may be cultivable lands, or there may be trees which are standing in between the partitioned areas. In that case, the court will send a particular person or a commissioner. Generally, they call it as issuing of a commission. So this commission will go to that place and they will ensure that the partition is done in a right and practical manner. The next is to hold a scientific, technical or expert investigation. In some cases, there may be some scientific details which are required to determine a case. In that case, the court will issue a commission. Next to conduct sale of a property. For example, imagine the court is seizing a lorry full of tomatoes. In that case, quite naturally, the tomato will decay. So what the court will do is the court will try to sell that property because it will decay. In that case, the court will retain the amount which has been obtained by this auction, and subject to the outcome of the suit, this amount will be paid to the person, and then to perform any ministerial act. Let us move to section 76. Commission to another court, which is section 76. Let us try to understand subsection 1 of section 76. Imagine a scenario. There are two states, state A and state B. There are two states. In that case, the court in state A is trying to examine a person in state B. So what the court in state A will do is they will send a commission to the court in state B saying that we need to examine so and so person. So this is permitted. Let us move to subsection 2 under section 76. In this subsection, there are two important points which we need to understand. The first point is that if a person in state B is being examined, that commission shall report to the court in state A, and in case if that particular court has said like no, you don't give me the report, you get me a voice recording. For example, I'm saying this. If that be the case, then the commission should produce the voice recording instead of giving the report or record as the case may be. So it should be done according to the terms of the commission. There will be a direction to the commission as to how they should perform, what they should do. According to that, they should act. Next, let us move to section 77, which is letter of request. In general, if there is a state to which this commission is to be sent, it should not be an issue. But imagine a scenario where a person to be examined or a witness to be examined is not residing within India. He is residing outside India. Then in that case, instead of issuing commission, the court can send a letter of request to examine the witness. Let us move to section 78. Commissions issued by foreign courts. Provisions with respect to execution and return of commission, mainly for the examination of witness, shall apply to the commissions issued by the following category of courts. Court is within India, but CPC will not apply to that court. That is first point. Second, court established or continued by the authority of central government outside India. Imagine there is a court in some foreign country, say for example New Zealand, there is a court, and that court was established by the central government and it is still continued by the authority of the central government. In that case, this particular provision will apply. The third point is it can apply to any state or country outside India. Let us move to part 4. Suits in particular cases. Suits by or against the government or public officers in their official capacity. Section 79. Suits by or against government. Imagine a situation where the government is filing a suit against any other person, or any person is filing a suit against the government. So the government can be a plaintiff or can be a defendant as the case may be. In both these cases, if the case of a suit is by or against the central government, then in that cause title we should write the Union of India. In case if it is against the state government, then we should write the state. That is, to put it in a simple manner, if the central government is the plaintiff or defendant, then in that particular place we should write the Union of India. If it is state government, we should write the state. Let us move to section 80. Notice. Section 80. Notice. Subsection 1. So the simple fact is, subject to subsection 2, these things will apply. If I am instituting a suit against the government, in that case, or against a public officer, if he is doing the duty in his official capacity, in these two situations, I should give a notice to them in writing and I should give them 2 months time to give their reply. After that only I can file the suit. That is the first point. And there are certain aspects which you need to know inside this subsection 1. Now let us move to point A. In the case of a suit against the central government, then we should give the notice to the secretary to that government, except when it is railways. Railway is also coming under central government, but still, if it is against the railway, then we should give it to the general manager. And in case if it is against the government of state of Jammu and Kashmir, then to the chief secretary to that government or any other officer authorized by that government. In case of a suit against any other state government, then to the secretary of that government or collector of the district. How it should be delivered, how that notice should be given. It can be delivered to that public officer or you can leave it at his office. And in that notice, what you should give, what information should you give? The first point is you should give the cause of action. The second is the name. The third is description. The fourth point is place of residence of the plaintiff. And the fifth point is the relief he is claiming. And the plaint, when we file, we should mention in the plaint saying that I have already delivered the notice to that particular public officer. So 2 months time will start getting counted from the date I am serving the notice. Let us move to subsection 2. Now the question comes, if there is an emergency and I need to file a case against the government, what will I do in that situation? So the answer is as simple as that. The court can grant that relief. The court can say, okay, you file the case, no problem. I'll take your case or suit. I'll send a notice to that particular public officer and I'll ask their reply. And I'll give them a reasonable opportunity with respect to the relief prayed for in the suit. And if the court is satisfied after hearing both the parties that there is no urgent need or there is no emergency in that case, then the court will return the plaint saying that you please comply with the requirements under subsection 1. That is, you give 2 months notice, then you file the case, I will take, because there is no urgency in this particular case. Let us move to subsection 3 under this particular section. In general, we take a defense saying that there is some error in the notice given to me, there is some defect in the notice given to me, and hence the case should be dismissed. Generally, they take this defense. Now, let us try to understand this subsection in a simple manner. I am filing a case against the government. There are some defect in the notice which I sent to the government. So now the court will check the following details. First, they will check whether I have given the correct name and description. And if it is correct, they'll put a tick mark. Then the next point is residence of the plaintiff. That is my residence. Have I given that? Yes, I've given it. Then it is a tick mark again. So the public officer can identify that this person has sent the notice. So that is clear. And the second aspect, I have delivered the notice to that particular public authority or the public officer, or I have left it at his office. So they will check this point also. And if I have delivered it properly, then again a tick mark. Then they move to the next point, which is point B. Whether that notice contains cause of action. I am saying why I am filing this suit, what for I am filing this suit, and what is the relief I have claimed. If these aspects are there, then the case cannot be dismissed. These things the court will check whether it is correct. If this is correct, then the court will proceed further. Let us move to section 81. Exemption from arrest and personal appearance. Generally, this particular section is very, very important. Many times they have asked questions from this particular section. If there is a public officer against whom a case is initiated, the first point what they'll say is the defendant cannot be arrested. That is, the public officer cannot be arrested, nor his property can be attached. There is an exemption to this. In execution of decree, arrest can be done, property can be attached. Other than the execution of a decree, arrest or property attachment cannot be done. That is the first point. Let us move to the next point. If the court is satisfied that the defendant, that is the public officer, is sitting in a very important and a prime post, and if he comes or if he moves from that particular place, it will be detriment to the public service. In that case, the court will exempt the public officer from appearing in person. This is section 81. If you like the video, please do press the thumbs up button and leave your comments in the comment section. And do subscribe the channel and also share the channel with your friends. Let us join hands together and contribute for a learned society. Thank you.